Good morning and welcome to Butter Boutique. I am Doretha and today I'm sharing with you my finished granny squares. Now I made these granny squares so that I can put them together to make a granny square bag, a purse, but I wanted to show you this stage of it because I'm getting ready to move on to the next stage. So I finished a whole skein of a Red Heart Super Saver, the Granny Square yarn in the color of Black Dove. I enjoyed working with this yarn simply because I only have one, two ends. I have two ends to sew in at the end of making this granny square. Had I made this using one, two, three, four, five different skeins of yarn, then I would have to sew in about 10 ends for each. I mean, two ends for each level. So a beginning and an end. So, and I would have to cut it and switch yarn and do all that. But I didn't have to do that with this one. The only thing that I loved working with this, the only thing I wasn't that happy about was my tension had to change between each level. I noticed that if my tension was relaxed here on the next level, I may have to tighten it up. I'll have to take it down and go back, and either make my tension loose or make it or pull it tighter, which wasn't a big problem because, I'll take that over having to sew in all those ends. So what I'm doing today is just sewing in my ends. I'll sew in the one at the end and the one I started with, and that's it. And I have a darning needle right here. I'll show you how I do that, how I'm going to do mine. After finishing that skein, I ended up with 14 of these, by the way. And what I'm going to do is wash them, and then I'm going to put them on my blocking board so that all of them will be the same size. I've already measured where I wanted my pegs to be and the size of the square that I want it to be. So now I'm just going to go through each one and sew in the beginning and the ending strands. I'm going to actually sew this one in since it was an open space, and so, I'm just going to continue picking up stitches around this circle. Now this may not be the way you do yours, but I do mine like this. I go under the circle, under the stitches, and I can hear every time I start sewing in an end, I can hear Aniqua Jane Wilkinson saying, "We don't bust through no stitches." I can hear her saying, "Don't bust through stitches, go under the stitch." So that is what I am doing, going under the stitch this way, and then I'm going to double back and go back in the opposite direction. And I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to turn around again on y'all. Hold on. Just stay right there. I'm going under stitches. Okay, I'm going under stitches this way. And then, guess what? I'm going to go back the other way one more time. And I'm doing this. I skipped one stitch as to hold it in place. I'm doing this because I don't want this to come undone. Stitches will, from time to time, work their way out, but I don't want this to work its way out. So I am going under these stitches in 3 different directions is what I have learned over the years. And then you can, if you want to tie a knot in it, you can, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut my yarn now because I believe by going back and forth those in different directions, I believe that my yarn is secure enough, and I'm going to cut it down as low as and close to it as I can without cutting my project up. Okay, so therefore it's going to hide itself in there. Now, so from time to time, like I said, sometimes the yarn will wiggle out, but yeah, So this is, I'll do this one over here. It has a little bit of white on it, but it's mainly black. So I'm going to try to keep it in this black area. Okay. You see how I kept that in the white area? Another thing about this yarn too, I just want to say real quickly before I get off, is that this yarn bled over a little bit. You see how some of the black would get on the white, you know, and some of the other color, there go a spot right there of black that bled through. But that doesn't bother me. It adds character to the project, and I pray that the recipient of this granny square bag, I pray that it doesn't be a problem with them. I will definitely, they have seen the granny squares. They loved them. So hopefully that won't be a problem. I love it. It adds character to the bag, like I said. No one else will have one like this in the entire world because I made this with my hands. You know what? I'm going to pull this to the back. See, that's the back of it, and this is the front. And just in case it does want to come up, wiggle its way out, it will be in the back. Okay, now that it's back there, I'm going to go ahead and secure it again. And I'm going to cut it just like I did the other one, as close as I can without cutting my project. Because if I cut that one thread, I'll ruin the whole thing. So here it is. Okay, I'm not just going to spray these because I had to keep changing my tension on them. So I want them to look nice and, you know, flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash each one. Well, I'm going to wash them together once I finish doing each one. And then I'm going to put them here. And this will be my blocking process. They will be wet, not dripping wet with water, but, you know, I'll squeeze the water out of them as much as I can and put them here. And once I put, you know, once I will let them dry on here. And once they dry, I'll be able to take them off and move to the next step. Well, anyway, thank you all so much for being with me this morning as I showed you how I sew in the ends of the granny square and show you my plans of blocking these squares. And I'll show you that step when I get to that. But right now, ouch, I poked myself with the, you have to be careful because these things are sharp. But anyway, I have 14 of these, so I got to go through and do that very same thing to the rest of them. And I'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay cool because it's hot out there. You know, don't go out there unless you have to. All right, bye-bye.